Yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we have DIMASH Across Endless Dimensions. This is quite a heavily requested one. It was made for a film called Creators the Past. That's a sci-fi fantasy film. I've not seen the film. I won't say too much on this in this introduction. Rather, I'll show a clip and I'll read out loud what they're saying because it's in Italian. It's the film director and screenwriter talking about how they found DIMASH for the film. This 25 years old young man from Kazakhstan is for me the most beautiful voice in the world, even though I'm someone that collaborated with so many grand musicians, with many singers. This young man has an extension of 6 octaves. He's 25 years old, he's already famous. There are videos on YouTube with more than 70 million views. Let me explain, this is a piano. Apart from that extremely low octave, that is difficult for any voice to reproduce those sounds. From that point onward, for 6 octaves and 2 tones beyond the piano keys, that is his vocal extension. It's her that found him. She selected our home alien. Here is also a clip that someone seems to have recorded in the cinema watching the film. It's the final credits that appear at the end. And we can see DIMASH's face on screen singing the song. I've only watched about 5 seconds of this clip, so I don't spoil the song for myself. Finally, the lyrics, they're short and they're not in perfect English. I don't know if this is a stylistic choice to keep them as short as possible or not, but either way it's interesting to see. So let's get straight into it. This is the official music video from DIMASH's channel.
Of my creation, my soul free from space and time, ready to rise across endless dimensions of time.
The beat is very peculiar, but not in a bad way. It's just so interesting considering the music going on. It first came in about, 30 seconds ago. Let's find it. So the song doesn't start with any percussion, especially here when the instruments that are playing this note, they take the role of the percussion stops. Cha, cha, cha. Really interesting. I'm going to do my first pause here, so if you don't want to hear my analysis, go to the timestamp. We saw some clips that I guess are from the film. As I mentioned in the intro, I haven't seen this film yet. Otherwise though, the video, it's very otherworldly. We get a piano introduction setting the scene very nicely. We know the music will be calm, at least to start. And we kind of go straight in with this standout feature, and that's these repeated 2 notes. That's this repeating B and A, which is the supertonic to the tonic. In other words, notes number 2 to 1, we're in A minor, which is note 1. So B is note number 2. We get a clash on this C and this B here to really exaggerate 2 things. One, it's the home key of A minor. Because this repeated B and A that we hear, it resolves by moving to the A. So now we're very much aware of this repeating motif. These repeated 2 notes, they cause tension because the chords around them are changing. Let me hop to the piano to show you the chords we hear and what happens when we have these 2 notes. This is where the motif stops. So those chords, that's a fairly natural sounding progression. We have 6 chords which are naturally divided into pairs, so 3 pairs. Every pair moves to the chord next to it in the circle of fifths which we have on the screen now. So we go from here to here, from here to here, and then from here to here. It's a very bare opening, just the piano and Dimash, so we're very much focusing on Dimash's voice. And then we get this, where his voice becomes a bit less. That beautiful airy tone, there's so much air to the sound. No audible notes are being sung for a fair proportion of this phrase. We've got strings coming in, so it's a dramatic, gradual build-up. Then on the phrase that comes, Dimash has a suspension.
Of my creation.
What this means is we're in E, this is the chord, and Dimash sings, so we go from this augmented chord to the standard E chord. Suspensions are a musical tool used to cause tension before resolving the tension and finishing in a nice pure chord, as we just saw there. I think because of this, Dimash chooses to sing that suspended note with a straight tone. There's no vibrato, no voice wobbles. What vibrato is, by definition, is a rapid alteration between 2 notes, so he's not doing that. Just a clear, straight tone, unequivocally one single note being sung, and that note is a tense note. On the repeat of the verse, as I mentioned earlier, we now do have some percussion, so there's some kind of beat or rhythmic drive, but the instruments that we hear in the background, they contribute to this in various ways. The 2-note motif from before now does a bit more, it goes. And we can hear the strings much more urgency to their sound. With this rhythmic, almost agitated playing. So things, they're growing, they're definitely growing. And the brass instruments too, their timbre, it just really adds something to the musical texture. Their sound is completely different to the other instruments we're hearing. The strings, the piano, the voice. Almost like it physically feels different. I often compare sounds to physical textures in my head. In my head, these brass instruments, they add a sort of coarse, a bit of a rough layer to everything. A bit more of a gritty sound. I think they work really, really nicely here. Alright, let's carry on.
And hold me tight from empty days to
Nice suspension there again with the electric guitar coming in. This music, I do like it, and overall, it reminds me of several other of Dimash's performances that I've seen so far that we've done on this channel. But right now, at this very moment, it's Mademoiselle Hyde that comes to mind. There are a lot of similarities, especially harmonically. Do please check out my reaction to that. If you haven't seen it already, card will be up here. Yeah, I mean, from where we left off, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something really, really big. This is much calmer. I was maybe expecting... Actually, maybe not that. He usually leaves his head voice till later on. But something bigger. Anyway, another reason why this bit is unexpected, at least to me, is because of the chord progression. It sounds so different to what we've heard previously. But the chords are the same as the chords that we heard earlier, just they're now in a different order, almost reversed, but not quite. So to visualize it on our circle of fifths, last time we went from here to here, to here, to here, to here, to here. This time round we've gone back here to here, then to here, and then to here. Also leading into this, Dimash was rising up, but now we're moving back down. It kind of removes the suspense that's been building up a little bit. It's a simple melody. The notes, they're equal rhythms. Chun, chun, chun. A simple scale down just in stepwise fashion. And we have two sections of 3 notes. And then... And we'll see that this note ends the first phrase and begins the second phrase. So a very, very simple melody here, tiny bit of repetition. There's nothing fancy, nothing snazzy at all. There's also no beat, no percussion. The most rhythmic roll really is the arpeggiated piano figure that we hear. Then it keeps going down and the accompanying music, I think it gets a bit more interesting. We hear the flutes coming in there. It's teasing us by moving up, but then the melodic arc changes and it comes back down. Really complementing Dimash's continued descent down. The lyrics from Empty Days, they're quite sad. Also, on Empty Days, we hear some really harsh dissonance in there. They kind of make you go, oh. Which of course leads into Dimash entering the lower parts of his standard register, if we can call it that. His voice type is now changing slightly, it's becoming a bit more open. To light, great bit of visual effects here. Then electric guitar comes in, sliding down, great effect, I think, really, really good use of instrumentation. And Dimash, he soars up. Straight into that blended voice. So much power, and the beat as well is now heavier. Overall, it's just a great contrast to what we've heard previously, which is interesting because Dimash's melody is still simple. In terms of the note lengths and the rhythms anyway, there are no crazy rapid runs, very standard rhythms. It is a bit more jumpy melodically, he's jumping up and down. And that just lends really nicely to Dimash being able to move into that blended voice of his in the higher notes. And there are some nice lines in the instruments as well in between Dimash's singing, such as the guitar here. To move forward a bit, as always, I really like what Dimash chooses to do stylistically. His voice is an instrument after all, and it's the most versatile instrument on the planet. This raw sound. It's not your typical good formal singing technique. And just after that, we get it again here. To end that phrase, so it's not just a one-off. The previous time, he's making sure to repeat it, to do it again. And immediately after that, he goes straight back into that airy voice. But so airy. It just reminds me of Ikenaide. Please check out my reaction to that if you haven't already. I loved it. Card up here. Oh, so nice. So nice. Alright, let's carry on until the end. I think there's about a minute and a half left. From this lovely note where he starts with straight tone, then grows into it with the vibrato really coming out towards the end of the note. And we have this run in the violins and the electric guitar coming back in. Growth, all round growth. Goosebumps. Oh, the whole top half of me is shuddering. Wow. I was kind of wondering because the interview that we saw in the introduction, they were talking about Dimash's range and I was thinking it's not being used that much. Well, it certainly was there. Before we get to that bit, how does he do this in his blended voice? That high E. Many men can sing that in their head voice. But to sing it in the blended voice, it's just a different ball game completely. I wonder how high he can sing in his blended voice. I'm trying to think of the highest that I've heard him sing in the blended voice. Anyway, we get it again here and then. Straight up the octave. Dimash is a menace. The director of this film, he must have been so incredibly chuffed to have found Dimash and for Dimash to have agreed to sing for this film. Chuffed means happy, by the way. I think that's a colloquialism where I'm from. For context, the top note Dimash sings there, that's one note below, which is the top note in the Queen of the Night. And yeah, they just let him go on with these vocalizations until the end. A real wow factor to close up everything. Did I mention it gave me goosebumps? The accompanying music, it's really great too. I really like it, especially the chord it ends on. That's our home chord, A minor, but with the supertonic note number 2 in there. A reminder of the B to A motif that we were hearing at the start. I really enjoyed that one. I thought the music was great. I have looked at the rating of the film. Unfortunately, the ratings aren't so high for that one. I'm not sure if I'll be watching that film. But the music, great. Dimash, I think, performed excellently here. There was a great recording. Simple song overall, especially the melody that Dimash is singing, and he is the focal point. His rhythms are simple, nothing crazy. The melody itself is fairly simple. Of course, the fact that Dimash has a range, you know, this big. I'm not speaking about that, of course, but just intrinsically. And it works really well. You don't always have to be flashy and crazy. Any Dimash fans who saw this in the cinema must have loved when his face appeared at the end credits. I don't have too much more to say on that, so I think let's leave that one there. I can see why it's one of the more heavily requested songs though. I enjoyed that a lot. Comment down below other songs by Dimash you'd like to see me react to in the future. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like and a subscribe. If you enjoy my content, want to support me, join the community, get access to exclusive perks, you can do so by joining the Patreon linked on the screen or the YouTube membership link below, and I will see you next time.